Hi, we're Scott and Oscar, and we have a very special guest with us today. We have Andy Clarke. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Welcome, Andy. Welcome to our gin room.
I am loving this. Thank you for having me. This is not just a room, it's a palace. It's wonderful.
Thank you ever so much. So Andy has come down. He's going to make some cocktails for us. One of the reasons being he has this amazing book out, Home Bar. It is full of brilliant cocktails. Really, I've nearly given away what we're going to make. Really good instructional book there. Great illustrations, very simple, great to use. We love it. Fell in love with this book, and we are lucky enough to meet Andy, and he's come along, and we're so honoured that he's here today.
Yeah, I wanted to create a book that is about making cocktails simple. People think they're complicated. They don't have to be. They don't have to be.
No.
You know, about people that say, "Oh, I'm not going to try it because it's really hard." It's really not. So I thought, how are you up for? You want a cocktail right now?
We want a cocktail right now. Would you like to see a cocktail? I'm sure you would.
So I thought I'd fix for you a Negroni.
Perfect.
Oh, that's handy, because that's the page it's on.
It's as if by magic. It's one that I get asked about frequently, and people go, "Oh, I've never made one." I'm like, it couldn't be simpler because it is it's three ingredients, and they're equal parts of those ingredients. So it's going to be really easy to make. So what we will do, we've got our ingredients here, but before we do anything, let's get some ice out of the bucket.
I put that on tight.
Oh, it was good. That was my first
It's a
challenge.
workout. It's a workout.
It is a workout.
There you go.
Right, I'm going to make this in this lovely jug here. You don't need to do this in a shaker. If people don't have a shaker, it doesn't matter because we can stir it. So
you could mix it in anything then.
yeah,
That's it.
I literally say, do you know what? Just use anything you've got. You
Jam
don't.
jar.
Don't worry about anything that you know, any equipment that you don't have. It's absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of ice in our glasses.
It's a very popular cocktail at the moment, Negroni, isn't it?
It is. I think in lockdown, everybody started, raiding their cocktail cabinets, and it's one that people just fell in love with because of the beautiful flavours in there. So what we will do is get fixing this drink. All we're going to do is equal parts of these three ingredients. The first ingredient is gin. Good old gin.
We like gin.
That's a stroke of luck.
I didn't bring any gin with me, but luckily you had some.
Well,
we've got a few bottles.
We've got a couple of bottles,
Yeah,
and we've chosen, today we have chosen Commander Fox, which is an old Tom, and it's made down in Cornwall. Absolutely love it. Brilliant old Tom. It's very good, isn't it, Scott? You enjoy it,
and
greatly.
it has a spiciness to it.
It does. You can get that. It's almost like this beautiful sort of warming, almost like sort of what I call like pumpkin-y spices. This sort of like autumnal, sort of cinnamony and
autumnal's a good description.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, if I was making this for two, I'd use 75 mils of each.
Right.
But
Okay.
I'm going to make for four because there's three of us, but the camera does not operate itself.
It doesn't.
There you
Our
go,
camera
the
operative
camera
gets
operative is
a
there.
cocktail.
He gets a cocktail. So what I'm doing here is putting in 150 mils of each of these ingredients. Look at this. This is Campari. So you can use any Amaro you like. You want that lovely bitter orange flavour in there. So we're using Campari. And then one of my favourite ingredients, red Vermouth. I love Vermouth. That aromatized fortified wine is just delicious. Such a good cocktail making ingredient. We got this one from Asterley Bros in London.
A lot of people don't know how to use vermouth.
Yeah,
They just think of traditional vermouth going into martinis, but there's a lot of different vermouths out there.
there are so many. You can have red, you can have white, you can have rosé, and the artisan British vermouths are wonderful at the moment, being made from English wine, steeped with a load of different sort of herbaceous sort of botanicals and stuff, a bit of wormwood in there. So, and this is, I can smell that from here.
I can smell it. I can
Actually
smell
getting
it.
that.
So beautiful.
Totally getting that.
So what I'm going to do is just mix that around with some ice in here. And the reason I'm not shaking it, because if you shake it, it'll give it a bit of a texture and the air bubbles. And actually, you want this to come out glassy, like a still lake.
Okay.
You sort of want it to look really glassy and classy.
Glassy
what
and
I would
classy.
say.
Well,
so
I'm one of those.
there we go.
Won't tell you which.
Both.
It's
There we go.
not the words I would think, but
There we go. And all we need to do is pour it over the ice. We've got this
I'm getting the smell off that. It's amazing.
the
aroma.
mixture of the spice from the Old Tom, from the Commander Fox, that wonderful bitter orange from that, and the lovely herbs from the vermouth is just wonderful. So there we go. We've got that, and all I'm going to do to garnish this, because again, this is what intimidates people. People worry about the amount of faff that goes into your garnishes.
Yeah.
And actually, all I'm going to say is get yourself a veg peeler, get yourself an orange, something like that. Do a little piece like this. You don't have to do the old sort of, make it look like a ringlet or anything like that. Just do that, because instantly you can smell those orange oils, can't you? The smell is delicious, and all I'm going to do is twist that, wiggle it around so it releases the oils into the glass, because then when you lift it to your face, you will smell that fresh orange.
Yeah,
and it's just inviting, and the smell makes you, like when you smell something cooking, you want it, right? Because you can smell it before you've tasted it. So try that.
I like a simple garnish, because I think sometimes when it's too fussy, I haven't got the time for that. I want the drink.
Camera
I want to do that.
Try and come in and get that.
So let me pass it over to the camera operative. There we go. Right
there you go.
A floating one there. Camera operative. There we are.
There we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you
guys.
ever so much.
Cheers. Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
having me.
Oh, you're very
Cheers,
welcome.
camera operative.
Cheers, camera operative.
Oh, the aroma's amazing. Wow.
Would you like?
I really like. Negronis are a bit hit and miss for both of us sometimes.
They're definitely hit or miss for me. I love this. This is so warming.
Yeah, and I think this vermouth here is very, very good.
Yeah.
And also, I mean,
But it hasn't taken away from the gin.
No.
No.
But the base, you have to have a good gin. There's no point in making a cocktail. Years ago, it was like you could put anything in. You could put just any vodka in, any gin, because you're putting other
Thumbs up
flavours.
from the camera operative.
Camera
We like
operative's
that.
giving a thumbs up.
He was about to press stop on record if he didn't like it. I could see the look in his eyes. But
That is awesome.
Well, you wouldn't cook with substandard ingredients.
No, you
so
wouldn't.
you shouldn't make cocktails
Yeah.
with substandard ingredients. And what is lovely is that the sweetness of this vermouth balances out the bitter. Because sometimes for me, Negronis can be a bit too burnt orange heavy, if that makes sense. But I think the sweetness in that and the wonderful sort of spice in there balances
I
out.
still get that, but it's combated. I think probably by the gin. It's because I get the initial sharpness in there, but then it just tails away. It's very smooth. It's very tasty.
Good.
Very,
when
very
we spoke
tasty.
to you before about things, you said don't be afraid to kind of substitute things as well, because this this is a guide on how to make them.
Yeah.
So I know that this, if you're not a lover of Campari, you can use a summer cup, like a Pimm's or something like that.
That is such a lovely idea, because actually all of us have a bottle of Pimm's or some other summer cup.
Yeah.
Gathering dust in the corner because you're like, oh, I don't get it out all the time. So actually making a Negroni with that is such a lovely idea, because you just get the beautiful summer flavours in there as well.
Oh yeah, I mean the fact is I don't think these will last very long anyway, because it's so good.
Yeah,
and it is so simple to make. And there are a lot of people that would be scared by Negroni, but you've shown it's equal parts. How simple.
But also
really,
going back
really
to
simple.
simplicity, so you really, I mean, you've got to get yourself a copy of this book. It is as quick and as easy as you just made it there, as Andy made it. It's like that in here. It tells you even what glasses to use, everything to stir, what you're going to need. It's so simple. I mean, there's hardly any instructions on that. It's brilliant. It's straight through. In there, the information you want, that's exactly what you need.
The illustrations are lovely as well.
I wanted to make it feel playful, if that makes sense. I didn't want it to look complicated, and I just thought it's just got to make it feel like you open it, and even if you're feeling a bit lazy, you might go, I'll give that a go.
Yeah.
I'll try it. You know?
It is a
I've
good
been
read.
fingering through the pages, and let me tell you, there are quite a few drinks in there I was scared to make.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to attempt them. There's one of my all-time favourites I spoke to you about, a Long Island iced tea.
Oh yes.
It's not that complicated. It has quite a few things in, but it's not complicated. But we will bring you one of those one day.
Absolutely, do. I think.
Right, well this has been amazing. Try it at home. Honestly, get this book. It makes things so simple to make. I think it's an amazing book. Well done. And there's also bits in there you can learn about actually making syrups. So syrups are actually really simple. They're a key ingredient.
Yeah, absolutely. You use a lot of dashes of syrup in a lot of cocktails, but actually, why not swap your normal syrup out for maybe a flavoured syrup? I've got recipes for like a citrus syrup and sort of berry syrups and stuff like that as well. So you can just make things a little bit different.
But
he was just showing me the hummus there, because hummus is one of my favourite things.
He also brings up snacks in here, and I mean, it's like it is the perfect book. It really, for
It's
me,
the
this is
perfect
amazing for us.
evening companion.
It really
so when
is.
you've got friends round, you
Yeah.
work through the book.
Yeah.
You can make some of the little dishes in there.
Yeah, the snacks
And
are easy, and you need something to help sort of absorb. This is basically, 3 very
is just
alcoholic
alcohol,
ingredients.
yeah.
So you need something to absorb that you can do quickly. There's some things like spicy nuts in there, and some hummus and some guacamole and things like that.
But also, there is one bit in here that jumps out at me particularly. The ginger jingle. So, and he's got some mulled wine in here.
Yeah.
And Frosty the Melting Snowman. Christmas is so important to us.
It is.
And this, as soon as I saw that in there, I thought, that's what I've been after. I wanted someone to recognise Christmas in a drink, and we are.
Well, I tell you what, Andy, would you like to come back at Christmas and do some of those Christmas ones with us?
Only if
in
I
our
can
Christmas
dress in a
setting?
very, very camp Christmas
Oh,
outfit.
I don't know if we
Christmas
can do that.
is camped up like you wouldn't believe in this house, so
I-
don't worry about that.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. No, I will do that. I think drinking seasonally is very important. Change up the cocktails you drink throughout the year, because you do it with your food.
You do.
Why not do it with your drink?
Yeah, we do. Now, honestly, it has been an absolute pleasure having you in here.
Thank you.
Thank you for making this. Thank you for making the book. You've made
Yeah.
things a lot simpler for me making cocktails.
Good.
Actually, it's not daunting anymore. So thank you very much. And I definitely recommend, like I said, getting a copy of the book. And this is a fantastic Negroni.
Yeah.
Well, cheers to you
Right,
guys
thank
for
you ever
inviting
so
me
much.
over.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.
Don't
Cheers.
forget to like
Bye.
and subscribe,
Yeah,
and
like-
we shall see you in the next video.
only had
I
one.
know, it's amazing.
Blimey.
It's kicked in.
Is that good?
See you
Cheers.
soon.